Hey Aries, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're visiting for the first time. I'm Alexander Creek, astrologer and intuitive. Special hello to those of you listening to the audio version of this podcast. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the astrological forecast for the sign of Aries for the month of June 2024. So reminder to like, subscribe, and click on notifications so you don't miss a video. And if you're listening to the audio version, make sure to leave a 5-star review so people can find the podcast. So there's a lot happening this month, and it really kind of started last month, toward the tail end of May, when Jupiter, the planet of expansion and wisdom and opportunity, this planet of sort of blessings and that kind of wants to affirm you, moved into the sign of Gemini, the communicator, the kind of excitable, busy sign ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication. So Jupiter moving into Gemini is a big deal. Jupiter changes signs about every 12 to 13 months. So this is a really, really big shift in energy. And there's a really big focus on Gemini energy this month because we have a new moon in Gemini and several planets in Gemini this month. So first of all, let's talk about Jupiter going into Gemini and maybe what that means for you specifically. And reminder as well that you will want to watch horoscopes in general for your rising sign if you know it. So rising sign or ascendant, they're the same words they're different words that mean the same thing. So if you have an accurate birth time and you know your rising sign, watch your horoscope for your rising sign first, and that's going to give you more detailed information to your life. If you don't have an accurate birth time, or you just don't know it, I would watch for your sun sign if you know that you're born during the day, or your moon sign if you know that you're born at night. So Jupiter moving into Gemini for you, Aries. Jupiter has moved into your third house. This is the house of general communication in the mind. So anything involving learning new things, studying new things, anything where you're sort of working on communication projects, that area of life is going to get very busy for you, and it's going to just sort of get bigger. So Jupiter in Gemini for you really does feel like it's very mentally stimulating. It's about learning new things. It's about taking a class or learning something new. The third house in astrology also has to do with siblings, extended families, or extended family and neighbors. So it could be that siblings for some reason are going to be playing a bigger role in your life, or that you will simply have more energy around neighbors, local community, just because this part of your chart has to do with your sort of immediate, your daily, your immediate environment as well. Jupiter in the third house can also be about your daily rituals. So, and again, Jupiter is going to be here for a whole year. So this energy is going to sort of build over time, or you may feel it at different times in the year, kind of based on your birth chart. So when I say daily rituals, this could be a daily card, a daily sort of tarot card pull, or journaling, or anything that's sort of centering you. And especially because it's in Gemini, if you're sort of asking for information, if you're asking for information from the universe, this is a really good transit for you to be able to do that, to be able to sort of access some sort of divine information. Or essentially that's what I would recommend if you are kind of wanting to sort of deepen any kind of spiritual practice. This really kind of feels like daily ritual, pulling a tarot card, journaling, something connected to that. Third house is also your transportation and commute. So it could be that you are maybe changing your mode of transportation, upgrading your vehicle, getting a new car, something connected to that. And then also third house is trips. So these are considered to be kind of shorter trips. So this could be like a weekend trip, or exploring new areas or towns or cities or something like that. That's also very connected to Jupiter going through the third house. So that's going to be there from now until June 2025. That energy will be there. So we also have a new moon happening in the same part of your chart on June 6th. So new moon, new lunar cycle. It's a time for new beginnings and sort of new opportunities. This is a very busy feeling energy. There's just simply a lot happening. It's extremely mentally stimulating. We're looking at new options because we have Jupiter kind of freshly moved into this part of our chart, kind of enlivening and invigorating this part of your chart. So there is the need to like to talk, to communicate, to plan, to explore new information. This is a very curious kind of energy. We're also looking at multiple things with Jupiter and with Gemini and Jupiter and Gemini specifically, because Jupiter and Gemini, it's not gonna just gonna be looking at one thing. We're looking at sort of multiple options, and it's a very busy energy, sometimes scattered energy. So with this Gemini season and with Jupiter and Gemini in general, there is this sort of conflict of energies, because on one hand, Gemini and Jupiter and Gemini and this new moon is looking at multiple points of interest. Like it's like getting excited about many different things. And we have Saturn in Pisces over here, Saturn, the planet of delays, of containment, of focus, of structure. And Saturn is going to be asking this sort of Gemini energy to pick a focus, essentially, to kind of slow its roll a little bit and to make sure that we remain focused on our goals and kind of what we're wanting to accomplish. So with this new moon in Gemini, is going to be making a very sort of exact sort of 90-degree aspect to Saturn. So, again, there is that theme of I'm learning all these things, I'm like excited about all these new opportunities, maybe social opportunities or something. And this energy, this square to Saturn is going to be asking us to focus. Specifically, this new moon, this new opportunity is happening in that same part of your chart. So it's going to be happening in that communication area. So it could be about like you're wanting to learn something new, maybe take a course, take a class, take a trip, explore these different possibilities. It could be something coming up around siblings or extended families or something like something connected to your sort of local community. However, it is making a square to Saturn, which is in your 12th house right now. So Saturn has been going through your 12th house since about March 2023. This is a very psychological transit a lot of the time. So this can be about like, maybe purging outmoded thoughts or beliefs or things connected to your subconscious mind that aren't serving you, and really kind of investigating sort of like your mental sort of subconscious attic. It's like, do I really need this shit anymore? Like I've really just been kind of carrying this around for years. That's kind of what Saturn in Pisces is doing right now for you. So whatever is going on connected to sort of learning, studying, new communication sort of endeavors, there's also this square to Saturn going on. So there may just be this sort of inward psychological pull of like, don't forget to have some sort of quiet sort of meditation time, or some time that you are, that you're sort of connecting to that sort of mental health, kind of clearing the clutter space as we engage with this new moon. The other thing with this new moon is that there may be a focus on relationships as well, because Venus is in Gemini now as well and will be squaring Saturn too. So there could be some energy right now around, like commitment or like heavier themes relating to relationships. So this is either romantic relationships, this could be, relationships with friends or extended families, or however this may resonate for you. Because Venus represents like relating to others in our connections. So this Venus square Saturn aspect may be saying like, hey, there may be maybe all these sort of shiny new options and all these things that you want to do, but there's some sort of like work that has to be done, some commitment that has to be made, or maybe even asking like, is this relationship worth it, around this new moon as well. So that is that new moon on June 6th. And definitely there is that kind of new opportunity energy relating to communication, learning, studying, but there is this feeling of work or needing to focus around it as well. We also have, I also wanted to mention before I keep going, so I'm actually going to be teaching a class. I'm going to be teaching a workshop, specifically. That's weird timing that I'm like, learning something new. I don't know, maybe it's you. So I'll be teaching a class on Venus in the horoscope, actually. So Venus is the planet of love, connection, pleasure, art, and basically, what are you drawn to in relationships? What makes you excited? What makes you delighted? How your Venus expresses itself, what life areas she comes alive in. We'll be looking at your Venus placement. We'll also be looking at celebrity examples, and I'll be doing chart readings for people in the workshop. That is June 12th, 6:30 Mountain Time, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. If you can't make it live, a recording will be sent to you. So make sure to check that out. The link will be in the comments or the show notes below. So next we have Venus, the planet of love, pleasure, relationships that I just mentioned. She's going to be moving into Cancer on June 17th. And she'll be in Cancer from June 17th through July 11th. So Venus in Cancer is going to be Venus in Cancer is much more focused on like nurturing meaningful connections. Moving from this very kind of busy, light, social, excitable Gemini energy, focused more on like heart connections and really focused on emotional security. So Venus is going to be moving into your fourth house of home and family. So it's kind of going from this really sort of busy air sign Gemini energy into this part of your chart that has to do with like maybe you're going to be doing some sort of like redecorating or home improvements, or really kind of focusing on those connections with your loved ones during Venus in Cancer. This can be a really beautiful time to sort of to focus on those connections and that kind of slower energy, and sort of letting like a loved one know like how much that how much that they mean to you. Venus is a planet that helps sort of smooth out conflict as well. So perhaps if you've been having a conflict with a family member or someone that you consider part of your family, even if they aren't blood family, this would be an energy where you're going to be more understanding, where it's going to be sort of smooth those kind of wrinkles out in home and family. Also, if you are trying to move or do anything with your residence or real estate, Venus can help sort of smooth things out or even attract opportunities. So that is Venus in Cancer for you. Next, we have a full moon in Capricorn on June 22nd. So this energy is going to be, actually I lied. Hold on. Let me go back for a minute. I missed Mars and Taurus. So I'm going to go back date for a minute. I totally missed that part of my outline. Sorry, guys. So we actually have a couple days before Venus goes into Cancer, we actually have Mars, that planet of action, energy, how you get things done, how you tackle your to-do list, how you approach conflict. Mars in the sky is going to be moving into Taurus from June 9th until July 20th. So Mars has been in Aries for quite a while. Mars rules Aries. It does really well in Aries. And by doing really well, I mean it is able to achieve what that planet sets out to do really easily in Aries, because Aries is very action oriented. It's just like, let's get it done. It's that warrior energy. Mars going into Taurus, it is more of a slowing down of Mars, so to speak, because Mars going into Taurus is going to be, I think, more thoughtful about how it takes action. It's going to be sort of conserving its resources more, and it may be asking itself, is it worth it if I take action on this? Because Taurus is a sign that is connected to rest, but it's also a very hardworking and productive sign. So before it does something, it's going to be asking like, is this worth it, essentially? So Mars going into Taurus until July 20th will be in your financial sector in your chart. So you could be more motivated by material sort of security. You could be seeking maybe another avenue of income. You could be, really kind of looking at your budget and your spending. This could be more about sort of, even though Mars is a planet about action and asserting oneself and drive and ambition, you could be really kind of looking at sort of maybe trying to conserve your resources here, because Taurus is a more kind of conservative sign in that sense. And but also this could be about like you are, that you have to sort of spend money on something as well. But between Mars and Taurus and Venus and Cancer, this does kind of feel like I'm trying to sort of conserve money, or trying to sort of conserve resources, or there just seems to be more action connected to your income and like trying to get resources and material security from June 9th through July 20th for you. So we have a full moon on June 22nd. And this one is interesting because we're going to have two full moons in a row in the same sign. This first one will be in Capricorn at 1 degree. And the second full moon that we have, about a month later, is actually going to be at 29 degrees of Capricorn. 29 degrees is the last degree in astrology. And, it's sort of, so there's there's going to be a story for you with about career that's going to be coming in with these full moons. This first full moon, yes, full moons can be about completion and culmination and awareness or news or an event connected to kind of where this is happening in your chart. But there's gonna be like a part one of the story and the part two. The part one could be more of a beginning or something coming up, and the part two seems to be connected to some sort of like final culmination. So there's this extra story happening for you with in your career sector in your chart. So this full moon, it is in Capricorn. Capricorn is the opposite sign to Cancer because, as we know, with full moons, with the sun being in Cancer at that time and the moon being in its opposite sign, that full moon will be in Capricorn. These signs are very connected to security, emotional security, material security. Kind of our station in life, our family. So this full moon for you is happening in your 10th house of career, of what you are achieving, your ambitions, authority figures, things connected to that. It's interesting because Saturn, that planet of mastery and lessons and things that are hard but worth it, will be it's about to station retrograde at that time of the full moon. It stations retrograde just a week later. So Saturn, the ruler of that full moon, is going to be slowing down at that time. When a planet like Saturn is about to go retrograde, we tend to notice those planets, that the energy around that planet in our chart more. It kind of intensifies those significations. And also, a retrograde period is a period of maybe review or bring back over something. So with Saturn retrograding, it does maybe feel like you maybe simply be paying attention to these career themes more. You're going to be you're maybe going to be doing some sort of like review or reassessment period, or you're really going to sort of notice those themes around achieving, of accomplishment of your career goals, so to speak. So something is coming up around this time. You may be completing a chapter in your career. You may be thinking about doing something else, or simply there's just or simply there is just a feeling of a little bit more intensity around your career and a bit more focused energy. This could also be around your bosses or authority figures, or even like your status changing. Perhaps that you're this could be someone going from like single to engaged or married, or someone going from an employee to a manager, or some kind of reputation shift over this full moon for you. So that is your forecast for the month of June. Drop a comment and let me know maybe what's going on for you. Maybe what your big three are, your rising sign, your sun, and your moon, and just let me know what's happening. If you're listening to the audio version, maybe feel free to email me. Maybe let me know what's going on with you as well. And until next time. Don't forget my class on June 12th regarding Venus in the horoscope. And until next time, enjoy June. Bye, Aries.